This is going to be the last scripture here. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. Sun and the moon type in wisdom and knowledge. Right? Under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, which represent the 12 tribes of Israel. And she, being with child, cried and travailed in birth and in pain to be delivered. And in what? And in pain to be delivered. You know, I watch Gino Jennings have a breakdown on Revelation 12, and I have to laugh when I ain't see it yet. Yeah. So I'm going to hear how he breaking down that. And she, being with child, cried and travailed in birth and pain to be delivered, right? Meaning all the trials and tribulations she going through, right? That is what it's talking about. All the trials and tribulations Israel will be going through. Like martial law, Jacob trouble. For one thing, started from way back in Jeremiah time when Nebuchadnezzar burning down Jerusalem to 70 AD to our time. That's how this Israel has been traveling in birth pain to bring forth this child that will rule the nation. Right? The child represents the word of God. It's a metaphor for the word of God. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. That red dragon, I want to see what Gino Jennings said about the red dragon. He thinks it's a dragon in heaven. Oh, so I'm sure you're going to say that fuckery. I'm sure that. That red dragon is who that, Pops?
Esau.
Tell them.
Esau,
Edom, the Roman Empire. Having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth, bringing us down in slavery. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. You understand? The Roman Empire stood. Now, you could type it with Mary too, it's not wrong with that. But make sure I have the correct breakdown. It's Mary, but at the same time, that happened to Mary because she was bringing out forth Yahushua and Mashiach. We're not against that. But the real metaphor of this story is really Israel. Because Mary is a type of Israel bringing forth the word. Even if they were to say Mary type in Israel, bringing forth the word, you wouldn't know that, but we know that.
Yahushua was the word.
And Yahushua was the word. And we, as Mary in this time, bringing forth the word spiritual. Everything with us is a spiritual metaphor. We being impregnated spiritually, bringing forth this word, but pain to deliver it because why? We've seen what going on with people. We've seen Esau, Edom, and we heal. It's going to get real nasty out here. Anyway, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule the nation with a rod of iron, and her child was caught. And remember that over again. And she brought forth a. Remember, let me read from verse 4. And they still drew a third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. The stars of heaven type in who? The Israelites. Because we was in rulership under the Byzantine Empire, and then they came back in power and take we down into slavery, right? Cast them down to it. And the dragon, which is Esau, Edom, that red dragon, stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for her child was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Right? Verse 5. And what Esau Edom trying to do in this time here? Not devour this word, not take you out of YouTube, not take down the videos, scrap we down. Just how we go become a family, and the word you go see me on YouTube. That time the Lord seal off the church, and who is filthy remain filthy, who is this remain that way, and that's how we go. Yeah. Verse 6, and the woman, verse 5, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule the nations with a rod of iron. All through the scripture talking about this child coming to rule the nation with slavery. Ain't talking about we being brothers and sisters with the child. That is Satanism. With a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Yahweh and unto his throne. Verse 6, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of Yahweh, that they should feed her 3,203 scores. Right? And you know, well, the rest you could go and read it, because you'll have to go into Daniel chapter 12 to understand the rest. Anyway, slavery is coming for you nations. And you Esau Edom. Slavery in a big way is coming for you. Pops here, he's getting an age. We praying that the Lord hold him off until he see the chariots.
Yeah.
You understand? Pops doesn't understand sometimes. He don't understand me. Because he reaching an age. Sometimes we don't think it, but we execute Pops at the age. But for you young brothers, you all gotta hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Fine.
Hold on. This whole thing is about to be over, and the great shift, the great reset, where Jacob will get back his rulership. Everything will be like in a twinkling of an eye. Because in 1 hour time will America be blown with nuclear fire. It will not in 1 hour, it won't be long enough, in 1 hour time.
Yeah.
Shall America be blown with nuclear fire. And this whole thing will be over with. Get ready for slavery Esau E, sleazy E. I know maybe they might cut this video out of YouTube. Who knows? I was a little too explicit, but I had to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
John 8:32 says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Nothing else will make you free but the truth. Right? With that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash. And we say double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone / the bishops that rule well. Salutation to all the brothers all over the world. I mean, all over the world. Preaching this truth. Fellow laborers like myself in Great Millstone, and then the camps that are affiliated with Great Millstone. You say Shalom.
Shalom.
You understand what I'm talking about? Death, mourning, and destruction to Esau, Edom, and the nations. Glory and honor, and the kingdom of heaven to the elect. Not the whole nation now, the elect of the nation. When that is complete, then the nation will come back together. But you know they're going to have to come through somebody's loins.
Yeah.
Coming back in the right mind. Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Tupac, Biggie Small, and all those that died, it will come back to somebody's, you know, come back in the right mind. Michael Jackson, right now before the Lord, maybe saying, I was that wicked, evil, faggot looking nigga. He may be saying that right now. He maybe have a different voice. He might have the same voice. He might have a different voice. He said, I used to be that homosexual looking nigga. Whitney Houston said I was that wicked bitch who refused those brothers $1 million. They were preaching the word of God. And I gave it to Joel Osteen. Yeah, all these niggas that wasn't right with the Lord, they in the right mind before the Lord.
Yes, right now. Yeah.
Waiting to come back, but they will have to come back through somebody. They come through somebody's seed and be born and grow up in righteousness anymore. Now what the scripture says, behold, I'll make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, right? Judah and Israel. You see, not like the covenant of old. You see, this time I'm going to write them in their mind and in their heart. I will write them. You see, and I will be their God and they will be my people. And like how it is. So we waiting for that to happen. Until that time, brother, God say Shalom.